in the paint. Oh, ball knocked away, and Cavanaugh's got the steal. They try to get it to Richardson. De Silva up court, caught by Neek, slams with the right hand. Holy cow, was that impressive. And Colorado's down by 7, 57-50. And Julian Hammond fakes, drives in the paint, bounces inside, caught by Lawson, goes to the dunk, goes up and slams with two hands, and a foul called by a Beckway, the potential three-point.
Well, there's some highlights as the Buffaloes get swept on the road against the Oregon schools. Both very competitive ball games, but Colorado comes up short against the Ducks in Eugene and in Corvallis against the Beavers. Back in the Buffalo Stampede, voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. We're out here Monday nights at Corelli's for Buffs Prime Time, and we had a chance to talk with head coach Tad Boyle about the losses to the Ducks and Beavers.
Powered by Ford. Cars, trucks, and SUVs built for America. Built Ford proud.
Ended up dropping 2 this weekend against the Oregon schools. I don't know. Both of them I think were competitive in large parts. But which kind of your assessment?
Well,
came out of those 2 games?
Mark, we're right there in every game. I mean, we really are. When I think about the team, we haven't been blown out all year. I mean, UCLA really didn't end up being close down the stretch, but
it was a free throws.
But I mean, I'm telling you, we've been right there in every game. There's some teams that they figure out how to win games, and unfortunately, right now we're one of those teams that's figuring out how to lose games. And there's a lot of different ways to do that, and we're figuring out almost, I don't know about every way, but a lot of different ways. Whether it's taking care of the ball, rebounding, and shooting, and the list goes on. But what I want our players to understand, and I talked to them about this today, is we're not that far away. But, we just, and I'm not a huge tennis fan, but, the Australian Open just, finished up. And tennis is one of those games where it's usually won by the player that makes the fewest amount of mistakes. Doesn't hit it in the net, doesn't hit it out of bounds. And really basketball can be that way as well. And right now we're that team that is making too many mistakes and self-inflicted mistakes, unforced errors, if you will. And, I looked at the Oregon State film, and they scored 60 points on us, and really 25 of those 60 we gave them. Literally gave them the points, whether it's fouling them in the backcourt, reaching, silly fouls, not boxing out, not guarding the ball against a driver, two ball screen defenses that broke down that were very simple coverages. And so there's not one of those things that cost us that ball game. But when you put them all together, sure, it costs us a ball game. And so what I want our players to understand is we got to control what we can control, which is the scouting report, understanding that, our focus, our intensity, our effort. We can't always control whether that ball goes in or not. And really right now, I'm not sure we can control whether we take care of it or not. But even with that, we can still figure out how to win games, but we're not doing it because it's a combination of things. And I wish I could sit here and say, well, it's this player. He's really not doing it. This player's not doing it. Well, it's collective. It's not just one guy. It's the whole team. So, anyway.
When you say there are a myriad of reasons, it'd be one thing if you said, you know what, we are the worst rebounding team. We can't figure it out.
Right. Exactly.
And that's hurting us right now. We're losing ball games.
Yeah.
Is it better or worse when it's a myriad of things you're looking at?
Well, I mean, it gives you hope because a lot of the things that we're doing, we can control. For example, you mentioned rebounding. When we played Oregon and Oregon State in Boulder 2 or 3 weeks ago, our defensive rebounding percentage in both games was over 80%, which is where we want it to be. If you are 80% defensive rebounding percentage, you are a better than average and could be considered an elite rebounding team.
Explain for folks so they understand what defensive rebounding.
So really what that means is if there's 10 shots that go up, okay, that Oregon State takes 10 shots and you box out and you get a rebound and limit them to just one shot, 8 out of 10 times, your defensive rebounding is 80%. If you only do that 7 times, it's 70%. So in Boulder, it was well over 80%. We limited those teams to one shot, and that's why our defensive numbers were so good, because our rebounding is a part of defense. That's why I say rebounding and defense, not rebounding or defense, because defensive rebounding finishes the possession. Well, those numbers were 66% against Oregon State in Corvallis, and it's 82% in Boulder. Well, we control that. We control whether we box out or not. We do. We control whether we get the rebound or not. I mean, because that's just effort and toughness and grit. And sometimes the ball bounces your way. That's why it's not 100%. You don't say, well, we got to get 100% of the rebounds because sometimes the ball
rebound or something.
Rebound. the ball just doesn't bounce your way. But by and large, if you're doing your job, and if we're doing our job, we want to be 80% or higher. That's our goal. And we were in Boulder, but we weren't in Corvallis, and we weren't in Eugene.
Valor's head coach of the Buffaloes, Tad Boyle, as we continue at Corelli's here on the Buffalo Stampede. We're out here Mondays from 7 until 8 o'clock for Buffs Primetime. Come on out and join us on Monday night. Always great food, obviously, at Corelli's, and always good basketball talk as well. And we talked to the head coach, Tad Boyle. They get ready now to host the Bay Area schools Thursday night against Cal. That's a late one at 8 o'clock at the Event Center. And then on Sunday, they've got the Stanford Cardinal. Coming up next here at the Buffalo Stampede, it's part 4 of our 4-part conversation with Athletic Director Rick George.